The City Q is a four-wheeled electric bicycle that feels and functions just like a car. As cities continue to struggle with traffic problems, the City Q will allow you to bypass all roads. If you live in Europe, that is. The Oslo-based City Q is a frontrunner in weather-protected bicycles, and the City Q will hopefully extend that legacy. Despite its car-like appearance, it is compliant with European regulations for e-bikes, as the driver has to pedal. With the City Q, you can transport others, carry additional luggage, and be protected from the weather during your biking experience. It's developed for daily urban commuting and is designed to drive on both car and bike lanes. But remember to pedal hard if you're in a car lane. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to be stuck behind that thing.
Looking a bit like the love child of an electric scooter and an airport luggage trolley, the Mimo C1 solves the problem of where to put your junk. Most e-bikes and scooters conveniently leave cargo out of the equation. This two-in-one function is the C1's main selling point, as it can switch from scooter to trolley in a paltry 3 seconds. The front hatch is perfect for storing things like a backpack, your laptop, or groceries. It's really only limited by your imagination. The big plus here is that it comes with a spare battery, so if you run out of charge, getting back on the road is as easy as swapping the flat one out for a fresh one. The smaller mini-scooter type wheels dramatically reduce the unit's footprint, meaning it can fit on public transport and be stored easily behind a door. Some people just want to see the world smile, and DC Trike is no exception. They work to develop an easy-to-use three-wheeler perfect for those who have poor balance, disability, or just want to have fun. The stand-up design can reduce the pain associated with long-distance travel with a bicycle. If you're looking for a fun ride in the city or other flat areas, then the 250-watt version is the one for you. Of course, if you desire a little more, the 500-watt version offers increased motor size and battery power. Although the aesthetics may resemble something between an old shopping trolley and a golf cart, the golf board and resort board are actually pretty handy bits of kit. On the golfing green, having to drag around a caddy for your clubs is a pain in the backside. Also, electric golf carts have notoriously high centers of gravity, making them prone to tipping over and rolling. The golf board solves both of these issues by providing an electric scooter with 4 wheels for greater stability. Golf clubs are attached to the front, and you're off and away to land that hole-in-one. The resort board is slightly different, with carrying baskets on the front in place of brackets for your golf bag. It has an impressive 18-mile range and is more designed for cruising around the back roads as you explore the countryside while on vacation. The A-Ride is like a cross between an e-bike and a scooter, except it can double as a light off-road vehicle. The design brief was to create an extremely versatile product that could be ridden on any kind of road during all seasons and by novice and expert riders alike. Safety is also a critical criterion that had to be met. The end result is perhaps one of the safest hybrid street off-road two-wheeled vehicles on the market. You'll find heavy-duty suspension and chunky tires reminiscent of a mountain bike. The A-Ride is even able to clear jumps on dirt tracks. A powerful 1,000-watt geared hub electric motor can propel the rider along at 35 miles per hour and tackle 30% gradient inclines. The battery is good for 50 miles, which more than covers the commute to and from work or a foray into the forest and back. The name Segway is pretty much a household name at this point. We all know of it or have heard of it. But did you know that they were bought by Ninebot in 2015? This Beijing-based robotic transportation startup raised $80 million, and the rest is history. Now you can find an extensive repertoire of mopeds on their site or their subsidiary sites, such as Segway. One such moped is the Segway e-Moped C80, which brings a chic flair to the small motor scene. It sports new innovative tech that propels it to the modern era. The Ride-Go intelligence system includes an airlock system, NFC tag, smart seat detection, and auto lock mode. You get all that with a 750-watt motor that runs at 20 miles per hour for up to 47 miles. Of course, Ninebot has eyes on all market levels, and they plan to innovate in all of them too. The A30C is a $350 electric moped that brings a whole new era of transportation for any family. The 48-volt lithium-ion batteries claim to be sufficient for 15.5 miles per hour at a range of 25 miles.
When it comes to firsts, the e-Cooter by British startup Ecu managed to claim the title as the world's first cylinder-fold e-bike. While many e-bikes and e-scooters on the market already fold away to some extent, the e-Cooter is unique in that it folds down to a sort of wheeled ring with a handle for easy transport. According to Ecu, the entire folding-unfolding process takes no more than 5 to 7 seconds. Packed inside the slimline rear module, the e-Cooter sports a 350-watt rear hub motor powered by a 10.5 amp-hour removable Samsung battery pack. With just a 2 to 3 hour charge, the battery has a capacity and can deliver speeds up to 15.5 miles per hour over a range of about 62 miles. The e-Cooter is surprisingly maneuverable, with a mechanical disc brake on the front wheel and a drum brake in the rear for extra stopping power. For added visibility, the e-Cooter comes equipped with a rear LED tail and brake lights, as well as a bright headlight for nighttime riding.
In the world of small motors, there is an Italian motor vehicle manufacturer, Monster, named Piaggio and CSPA. The company has roots back to 1884 when it was founded by Rinaldo Piaggio. Initially producing locomotives and railway carriages, they broke into the scooter scene with the first Vespa in '46, in collaboration with Corradino de Sannio, an aeronautical engineer. If that wasn't interesting enough for you, then take a look at the MP3 Sport 500. This three-wheeled sleek scooter is designed ergonomically and is built for two. Its rear gas shock absorbers and set of waveform front brake discs give the MP3 Sport 500 a very distinctive look. Of course, the 493cc engine capacity is quite distinctive as well. Single cylinder, 4-stroke, 4 valves, 38.8 horsepower. We could go on. This street menace carries a little heat.
Bikes and scooters have always been the solution to gridlock traffic. Riders can easily skirt around obstacles where larger vehicles can't. In times of crisis, ambulances, fire engines, and police can't always push their way through a traffic jam. Designed by Wunderman Thompson Paris, the emergency bike was created to quickly get first responders onto the scene. Built upon an e-cargo bike base from Urban Aero, the emergency bike features a bottom bracket motor powered by two 500-watt-hour lithium batteries. Without pedaling, the battery can last up to 100 miles on a single charge, and that limit's extended when pedal-assisted. A 40-gallon insulated storage box is mounted to the bike's front, useful for storing medical supplies and equipment. A 140-decibel horn and a high-intensity flashing blue LED are mounted to warn motorists and pedestrians to make way, adding to the mini emergency vehicle feel.
The Cobra is a pretty unique design. Taking inspiration from a penny farthing, the front steer tire is larger and wider than the smaller rear drive tire, meaning it corners like a dream. A combination of double-disc brakes and electronic braking assist means they stop on a dime. The tubular steel frame adds some serious style points and keeps the weight to a minimum, so the Cobra can remain nimble and agile wherever you're riding it. When it comes to tires, the Smart Trim features slicker tires to grip the road better and is more suited to life in the urban jungle. The Climber is the opposite, with chunky all-terrain tires that provide the grit and stability needed for riding places that are much rockier and muddier than usual.
The Mark 8 Dry Cycle is a fully enclosed pedal cycle from Dry Cycle Limited with all the bells and whistles. Dry Cycle Limited is a UK-based company, so it's pretty self-evident why they make a bike that protects you from the rain. It's legally an electrically assisted pedal cycle, so you can be the biggest flexer at your local bike track, but it meets all the requirements for use on the road. Some of its cutting-edge features include a crash and endurability-tested framework, LED lights, reflectors, a smart alarm system, a secure locking system, and a GPS tracking system. It'll also get you where you need to be with a 50-mile range on a 2.5-hour charging time.
If you're not aware, Japan has different laws than we do in the West or the United States. That might be obvious, but did you know that there are laws about how large a bike can be before it is no longer considered a bike? Because of these laws, the Japanese company Envision has set out to design a cargo bike that doesn't exceed the 75-inch length limitations. That bike is called the Streak, and we'll be covering it in this video. When limitations are in place, people look to creativity to circumvent them. And the Streak goes about it in one of the most unique ways we've seen. You will no doubt immediately notice the chassis design on this Japanese e-trike. A large looped body offers room for cargo while remaining compact enough for the tight city streets found throughout Japan. As you may have noticed, the seat sits in an elevated position above the 20-inch rear wheel. The looped frame itself measures 26 inches long and 25 inches high. This gives the company space for 2 cargo platforms, with a second removable platform for the top half. With these cargo implements in place, you're looking at loads of up to 132 pounds. This sort of design just wouldn't work with a bike, so the company designed the Streak with 2 independent front tires to counteract the balance issues that could arise, especially at max capacity. The company also designed the trike with a 250-watt mid-drive motor with pedal assistance. That, paired with the 374 watt-hour battery, adds up to a range of around 75 miles while in eco mode or around 31 miles while in power mode. Of course, depending on your cargo and route, you can potentially expect less range. The latest prototype for the Streak is nearly ready for production, but it has been delayed because of COVID. When it does set out for sales, you can expect retail prices to sit around $3,000.
Part go-kart, part quad bike, the 4x4 mountain cart by Polish manufacturer EV4 is an electric trail vehicle designed to allow disabled drivers to experience off-road trail riding. The riveted aluminum frame is lowered to allow easy access in and out of a wheelchair. Meanwhile, all the controls are mounted to the handlebars. A surprising 10 kilowatts of power is generated by 4 2,500-watt direct drive motors that can take the mountain cart to speeds of 25 miles per hour. The 48-volt lithium-ion battery can last up to 75 miles on a single charge. Spring-loaded bike shocks provide suspension over uneven terrain. At the same time, the 20-inch wheels covered in cross-country motorcycle tires help the mountain cart stay in control in unpredictable conditions. The mountain cart also comes equipped with an interactive LCD display that shows speed, distance, and battery charge level. Weird and wonderful ideas that do more to impress aesthetically than design for real travel. One exception is the Motorrad Definition CE04 by BMW Motors. Inspired by modular design and then supercharged with sci-fi elements, the Definition CE04 graduated from concept to production, and while the final details aren't released, here's what we know so far. A low-sitting battery pack connects to a compact motor and drive belt system and reportedly has the juice to make it 75 miles on a single charge. Regenerative braking and fast charge capabilities are also rumored. Definition CE04 also sports one interesting feature that may be more commonplace in the future than we realize. Connected clothing that integrates with your bike, allowing your jacket to light up and act as an indicator or brake light. The jacket's also loaded with a power bank for charging your phone while on the road.
This exciting hybrid touring bike / mini camper is built around a large aluminum ring, or circle, if you will. Austrian inventor Bernhard Sabata finished his Bachelor of Industrial Design at Austria's F.H. Johanneum University of Applied Sciences. His final thesis simply asked the question, is it possible to integrate overnight accommodation on a bicycle? The answer to that is the Circle. Inside the Circle is a flat-packed aluminum module known as the Camping Companion. While functioning as a bicycle, these unique hanging handlebars are connected to the front wheel via steering cables. This contraption converts into a chair, table, or cot when you've found a quiet spot to rest. Racks and panniers can be affixed to the front and rear side modules of the Circle for storage and gears, just like most touring bikes. But it's important not to overload. This entire home on the road is pedal-powered, so you gotta be prepared to lug everything with you. Once you've found a spot in the forest or by the lake and it's time for a quick bite to eat, the Circle transforms with just a few easy maneuvers. Kick out the two-legged kickstand, swing out the Camping Companion, and you've got a reclining chair with a small dining table ready to go. Once you've finished dinner and it's time for a nap, the module folds back flat as a cot for the night to the Circle. Unfortunately, there's no weather protection other than a BYO sheet of tarpaulin. Still, there are plans to integrate an over-the-frame tent, so if you like sleeping under the stars, maybe make sure there aren't any clouds as well. Currently, the Circle is just a prototype. However, Bernhard has put in over 620 miles on his creation, reporting that it performed very well. The second generation of Circles is being planned for a crowdfunding initiative sometime in 2022, but for now, Circles are a custom-designed one-of-a-kind. Could you tour the great outdoors on the back of a bicycle? Do you like sleeping under the stars, or do you prefer the creature comforts of four walls and climate control? Let us know in the comments below.
Straight out of a scene from Mad Max, the DM017 E-Fighter V2 is a post-apocalyptic e-beast from bespoke online motorcycle company Druk Moto. On board, the 0DS's 34-kilowatt brushless motor can generate 80 pound-feet of torque instantly. This translates to a blistering top speed of 100 miles per hour, meaning the DM017 V2 E-Fighter doesn't just look dangerous, it's got some serious power. You've got a choice between a base modular 3.6 kilowatt-hour battery that can be hot-swapped or the larger permanent 7.2 kilowatt-hour battery. Based on the hugely popular 0DS, the V2 E-Fighter has some surprising upgrades from previous iterations. It features all-terrain tires, lightweight solid wheels, updated LED lighting, regenerative braking, Bluetooth integration, blue backlit digital speedometer, upgraded front and rear suspension, and a custom premium seat. Each E-Fighter is a custom build optimized for the rider. As such, no two Druk Moto bikes are identical, and every rider gets a one-of-a-kind machine.
Mini motorbikes are amazing fun, and the Grunt is no exception. It's an electric trail bike with swappable batteries that will take you up to 100 miles on just a single charge. The motor is chain-driven, providing 75 foot-pounds of torque that is more than enough grunt, pardon the pun, to turn the wide, chunky mud tires at a fantastic rate of knots, up to 60 miles per hour. A full charge takes just 2 hours from a regular 120-volt power outlet, meaning you can be back on the trail in no time. The frame has 12 inches of ground clearance. It is super lightweight, tackling small to moderately sized obstacles, while still remaining maneuverable enough for light trail riding. An oversized front headlight is a welcome addition and makes night riding that much safer. The Bull E looks to blur the lines between electric scooter and motorbike. The tires are massive and broad, looking exactly like what you'd find on a Harley-Davidson Cruiser. The extra stability and grip make sure the rider is super comfy on longer, straight-line trips. A 2,000-watt motor sits within each wheel, able to coast along at a moderately paced 45 miles an hour for up to 50 miles. Great for short-distance, intercity transportation. Instead of sitting upright, the rider leans forward just like on a cafe-style racer. reducing drag while at the same time adding a more dramatic pose to the riding stance. Now all you need is a leather jacket and a black full-face helmet for that ultimate badass rider look, minus the greenhouse emissions and gas costs.
Next up is the Screecher from Sunox. Despite its somewhat misleading name, this innovative cycle doesn't make a loud screeching noise. However, it is an environmentally friendly solar-assisted pedal cycle that can go 0 to 15 miles per hour in just 5 seconds. The large roof and utility tray-mounted solar panels feed power into a 48-volt lithium-ion battery in just 6 hours. Or you can opt for a 4-hour charge by plugging it into a standard power outlet. Out of all the vehicles on this list, the Screecher has the lowest carbon footprint if you rely entirely on solar power. The downside to this is, cloudy conditions will render this vehicle useless. A rider can expect to travel about 20 miles in normal conditions. Its 4-wheel drive capabilities allow it to adjust to different types of terrain. Sunox claims that the Screecher will be distributed worldwide, from retirement homes in Florida to the mountains of China. So if you're okay with riding what looks like a solar-powered golf cart, this could be worth checking out.
Assembling a crack team back in 2017, Zapp operates outside of the UK, designing and manufacturing electric vehicles. Like many companies dipping their toes into the EV scene, they're serious about creating a greener future. It starts at the assembly plant and continues throughout the process until the product is in your hands. Its various creation values have led it to its first electric vehicle, the i300 electric scooter. So what makes the i300 special and stand out from its contemporaries? To answer that, let's talk briefly about the 3 variables you usually look at when discussing EVs: price, range, and performance. Generally speaking, you can only have 2. The third will be lacking. Do you want a powerful, long-range electric vehicle? You're looking at a hefty price tag more than likely. The i300 has a great price tag and some juicy performance, one of the rarer combinations these days. Let's start with performance. The i300 comes with 2 dainty 720-watt battery packs with a belt drive electric motor with around 9.6 horsepower, with a peak of 20 horsepower. Although it's not much, you're looking at some pretty great torque at about 433 pound-feet at the rear wheel. As for speed, you're looking at a 0 to 30 in about 2.2 seconds, or a 0 to 60, its limited top speed, in about 4.8 seconds. Let's talk about the range now. If you squeeze it for what it's got, you're looking at around 37 miles. That isn't even enough for the average commute in the US, but the bright side is that the battery can charge from 28% to 80% in about half an hour. It also makes for a pretty fantastic toy given the speed and charge time, if that's what you're interested in, but you'll want to keep to the roads for this one. If you want one for yourself, you're looking at a pretty good price tag at around $7,000. With the surge in popularity and use of electric scooters, we are seeing more innovation in the industry as well. That innovation manifests itself in many ways, from bigger batteries to more efficient motors to various implemented features. Some areas of the world require a scooter that is tailored more to their specific needs, and that's the situation that Bark Mobility finds itself in. The Middle Eastern and North African region, or MENA, has been waiting for automakers to cater to the region's specific needs for a while. Bark Mobility says, why wait when we can do it ourselves? And now, they claim the title of MENA's first provider of smart and sustainable mobility solutions. Those solutions come in 3 forms: the Rena 1, the Rena Max, and the Rena Lite. Let's start with the Rena 1. What is it exactly? The Rena 1 was the first iteration of an ongoing problem that was never entirely solved until Bark stepped up. It's an electric scooter designed to tackle deliveries around the MENA area, but only saw a little use. It was received well, but ultimately lacked what it needed to push it to the next level. In reality, the Rena 1 was a stepping stone for what would become their local innovation, the Rena Max. So then, what is Rena Max? To put it simply, it's a stylish, highway-ready electric scooter designed specifically for deliveries in the unique environment around the MENA area. The crowning achievement in the company's test is undoubtedly the delivery box they have designed. If you didn't know, Abu Dhabi, where BARC is located, sees average temperatures of around 100 degrees Fahrenheit in August, with highs climbing their way to just under 130 degrees. Thankfully, their delivery pod boxes are temperature-controlled with insulation. Even beyond that, though, it is also electronically lockable. It tracks and logs every time it is opened and closed. Aside from being very secure and climate-controlled, there are even reconfigurable shelves, so you can adequately store nearly anything within. The obvious uses are the safe delivery of foods and drinks. Still, applications for pharmaceuticals, electronics, and other services will be paramount to the future of e-scooters in the area. In terms of performance, the Rena Max runs off of a 12-horsepower motor powered by a 5.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack. It sees top speeds of around 60 miles per hour, making it highway legal, with a range of around 93 miles. The company hopes to see around 50,000 of these handy-dandy scooters hit the markets by 2025, with a low monthly subscription for couriers. The Rena Max is already shaping up to be a hit. The company knows that, which is why they don't want to rinse and repeat, but instead target the minutiae of the problem. The Rena Max will handle the more extensive and longer routes, but they recognize the need for a delivery vehicle to handle the smaller routes, which would cut down significantly on logistics. That's where the Rena Lite comes into the picture. This is a delivery e-bike meant for hyper-local deliveries within a little over 4 miles for things such as groceries, mail, or pharmaceuticals. It has a range of just under 50 miles per battery charge and a top speed of just below 25 miles per hour. The Rena Lite is efficient, with easily and quickly swappable batteries and an internal gear system. It can continuously be utilized on small-scale deliveries. Number 8 on our list brings us to another of Piaggio's mopeds, but this time under the Vespa brand. We know the history of Piaggio already at this point, but what about Vespa? Well, Italy found itself with disastrous roads in the late 40s. Because of that, they were not very open to the automotive industry. Enrico Piaggio, Rinaldo Piaggio's son, had now taken over. He saw a need in his country for a compact vehicle that can easily maneuver. Thus, he made the Vespa. Of course, Vespa isn't the only scooter they make. They have many others, including the 2021 GTS Super Racing 60s Euro 5. The liquid cooling 300cc engine dishes out nearly 24 horsepower and is the fastest, most powerful Vespa of all time. Suppose you are looking for something a bit more personal. In that case, the GTS Super comes in many other models, including the GTS Super 300 Tech Euro 5 and GTS Super 125 Euro 5.
Upon first glance at the electric cabin scooter, it looks like an awkwardly compacted VW Beetle. A love child of a scooter and a single-rider cabin auto, the electric cabin scooter mixes the convenience and maneuverability of a scooter with the added convenience and comfort of a standard car. Not every scooter can boast a luggage compartment, climate control, and weather protection, but this strange hybrid manages it with 2 distinct models. The Trike model is your standard 3-wheeler, complete with a 1500-watt motor that delivers a top speed of 15 miles per hour over a range of 25 miles. One step up, the aptly named Quad model features 4 wheels, and a rear seat that can carry a second passenger or luggage, and an upgraded engine. Producing 2,500 watts, the Quad maxes out at 30 miles per hour over a range of 43 miles.
As a child, Jack Chalabian would ride his Cushman Scooter 2 around Los Angeles neighborhoods while delivering the newspaper. 64 years later, he is still riding around on a Cushman Scooter 2, but this time they are of his design and make. Cushman has 3 models inspired by the original design from back in the day, attracting all sorts of eyes to their machines. All 3 models come in the same 8 colors for you to choose from, as well as a steel frame, turn signals, and an electric start with a kill switch. The step-through is the heaviest model, coming in at 349 pounds and a 1.8-gallon tank. It has a classic angular design that offers a unique riding experience. The Deluxe Highlander is the cheapest of the 3 and comes in at 325 pounds. Just like the other models, it also runs at 70 miles per gallon. Lastly, we have the Eagle, the lightest model, coming in at 320 pounds, but with the largest fuel tank at 2.5 gallons. All these years later, and Cushman 2 scooters are still alive and well.
The Spacebar, being developed by Catalyst in Indonesia, is a foldable utility scooter with a surprising amount of speed, power, and function for its blocky shape. Apparently inspired after the Hondo Motocampo from the early 80s, the Spacebar's handlebars fold down, and the entire moped can fit in the trunk of a car for easy transport. It is definitely as stylish as it is useful, rocking a blocky, metallic, futuristic design. The lightweight aluminum frame is decked out with railings and platforms to carry luggage, groceries, or cargo. According to Catalyst, the Spacebar takes its name from the spacebar on a computer keyboard, making space between words as it darts through busy streets. Despite being small in size, it packs a punch with a 1200-watt electric motor. Julian Palapa, the principal designer of Catalyst, says, "It is small but fierce, like a piece of chili." This is the forte of Catalyst. You only need to look at the anime-inspired EV500 and EV1056 to see that.
For longtime viewers, you may notice the name Arcimoto, as we have covered them a time or two in previous videos. They see the climate crisis as a significant threat to our world and use it as their drive to rethink and create sustainable transportation. Every day, 90% of drivers pilot bulky, expensive, and polluting vehicles to locations near and far. Arcimoto believes the future will be shared in and out of our vehicles, and that one day, we will be autonomous in our transportation. They have several electric vehicles in their lineup, but one of the most recent additions is not a car, but instead an alternative. Come along as we discuss the Cybertrike from Arcimoto. For the uninitiated, Arcimoto has revealed a tilting electric trike that goes by the name of Mean Lean Machine that promises to be the first of its kind. Even more recently, it has announced that there will be 3 tiers to its Mean Lean Machine. It ranges from a lower-end affordable e-trike to mid-range to the higher-end Mean Lean Machine. In today's video, we'll focus on that middle tier with the 4th generation of tilting electric trike, the Cybertrike Edition. Currently, the company is still in the tuning phase of the Mean Lean Machine lineup, with an official launch slated for the end of this year. You'll notice the Cybertrike's simple but effective design, thin frame, and 23-inch carbon fiber tires. The show's star is the tilting technology, though, which allows the driver to naturally lean into turns for more safety and performance. The suspension has recently been significantly improved, and the first micro future drive technology has been installed. However, we don't exactly know what that means since information is still limited. There's a small cargo shelf in the rear for simple carry-on, and some strap-on storage in the front to help. Integrated lighting is present in the front and back of the vehicle for some necessary safety, and each wheel includes an integrated hub motor. The Cybertrike Edition is all electric. It includes a thumb throttle and replaces the traditional chain or belt with a pedal-powered generator to keep the electricity going. We don't know much about the exact specs of each tier of models or their pricing, so stick around for updates in the future if you're interested to learn more. As always, thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Head on down to the comments section to let us know your thoughts on the video. Your feedback is always greatly appreciated. And stick around for our honorable mentions right after this. If you enjoyed this video, you could help us out by hitting the like button, subscribe, and keep up to date on future posts.
The City Q is a four-wheeled electric bicycle that feels and functions just like a car. As cities continue to struggle with traffic problems, the City Q will allow you to bypass all roads. If you live in Europe, that is.